So there's this topic I notice people don't talk about, right? This topic about life, growing up, and people don't talk about it, and that's how to handle the outgoing part of yourself that you love. Guys, a lot of people are confused, right? A lot of people are in a state where they don't understand themselves, they don't understand what they are doing, and there's this guilt about I'm losing out on myself, those kind of a thing. And people don't tend to work it, so everybody's just trying to figure it out on their own. And I've decided that why let people figure it out on their own when we can figure it out together, right? So in today's video, we're going to be walking through, you understand, we're going to be exploring the mental and emotional journey that comes with outgrowing the part of yourself that you once loved, how to deal with the guilt, and how to accept and love your present self. So, initially I wanted to break this video down into different parts, but then I've decided to just go with the flow. So it's going to be in an order. So it's not just going to be me listing things off the view. So whatever I'm going to be listing is going to be kind of sequential. So come on this ride with me. So if you see my face for the first time, my name is Amarachi and I'm the host of this channel. On here I talk about different topics that are relevant to young adults. So if you like to, see life from a different lens, understand another person's perspective of life or whatever you're going through, make this one for you. Trust me, this channel is about cracking life code and you would not want to miss out on that. So, subscribe, make sure you like the video, and also share to people you know would like it, right? So, thank you. All right, so growth is a beautiful thing. Growth is positive, but sometimes it can be overwhelming. As we live life, we evolve, right? We gain new experiences, we gain new perspectives, we learn and we unlearn, whether it's intentionally or not, whether you are doing it subconsciously. But the fact is, you're doing it, you are learning, you are unlearning rather. And all these things put together, the perspectives, the experience, what you've learned over time, what you've dropped over time, all these things mold who we are becoming. And we before we even get to realize it, something has changed about us and we're like, okay, what changed, right? So there's no distinct line in growth, right? There's no distinct line in growth. And sometimes when we realize that this change has happened, we tend to feel guilty, right? There's this guilt that comes with it, and because somehow you love your former self or the self you are growing, and there are some emotional attachments to it, you tend to not want to enjoy the current you, right? You tend to feel like you wish you can go back, but then you can't, right? And so I just want to help us understand what all this is about. Okay, this is it. I'm loving my past self. I don't know what I'm doing currently. I'm confused. What should I do next? How do I go about it now? Let's dive right into how you can go about it. First things first, you have to recognize growth and change. Now there's this unsettling feeling that comes when you realize that you're no longer who you used to be, right? But then again, there's this general phrase we all use, and that goes to say change is constant, right? So if there's one constant in our life as human beings, is the fact that we would grow. Yeah, we would grow, whether physically, spiritually, mentally, in our career, we would grow. So it's a constant, and we will change over time, probably because of how situations has molded us, or how the environment we are, where we find ourselves. Different factors can contribute it, but first things first, you have to recognize the fact. You have to recognize and understand that change is constant, change is a must. Change also cannot be positive. In fact, let's use the word growth instead of change, right? So let's use the word growth instead of change. Growth is beautiful, it's a natural phenomenon, it's a positive phenomenon that sometimes might come with some painful processes, but in itself it's beautiful, right? So you have to understand that it is something that must happen. Now once you've understood that, okay, you must grow, right? You must grow, you must Stay relevant, let me use that word, because if you are not growing, how are you going to adapt to what's going on in the environment? So that's that. Once you've recognized and you've understood the fact that growth is constant and it's a good thing, you now have to identify what has changed, right? Remember, we're talking about, outgrowing your past self. Now, it's not even the past self that you hate, the past self you love. You love, remember, in quotes, you love. So now you have to understand, okay, now you understand change is constant. What next? You have to identify those changes. What changed from the previous you? So probably before you used to be a very, very extroverted person. You like hanging out, going to club, going to parties. Once you're in a room, everybody knows you're in a room. And recently you notice you always want to stay at home in the evening. Whenever there is a party and you're being invited, you just want to enjoy the comfort of your home. It's a change. So what changed? Oh, what changed in this situation is the fact that you're beginning to like your own space. So you have to identify that. Once you've identified these changes, you now have to say, okay, what are the emotional, impact of these changes? What are the emotional impact of these changes? What it is that I used to do and what I am doing now? How is it impacting me emotionally, right? So talking about the emotional impact of, you know, your overgrowing self, or letting go of your overgrowing self, the first thing is we tend to notice this nostalgia that comes with it. You tend to reminisce on your past self, especially when it is tied to a particular season in your life. A particular happy season in your life, and it can also be a negative feeling it is attached to, right? So it could be success, it could as well also be probably a failure. So probably at that stage in your life, you are leaving college and your results did not come out well, and so because of that you are putting energy, you are doing stuff, you want to do this, you want to do that, but currently you see yourself, you feel like you're not doing much, you feel like you're not doing anything, you're not doing enough. You get that kind of thing. So it can be whether a positive or negative feeling, but then the fact there is you tend to reminisce from time to time, right? So let's talk more about the positive feeling this time around. You tend to reminisce from time to time, right? You're asking yourself, oh, not really asking, you're looking back, playing it in your imaginations, but then again we forget something. Somehow, I don't know if it's scientific, right? But sometimes it seems like our brain shuts off, those negative processes, the pains, the discomfort you felt before you got that positive outcome. And the only thing you remember when you reminisce are just the only things you remember are just the positive things that accompanied it, or maybe the positive the result at the end, and you tend to forget what happened along the way. How did I get here? I don't know if that makes sense, right? So sometimes you remember the time when you just came out of college and you got a job, you get, and they're all happy moments, but you forgot that before you even graduated, there were sleepless nights. You had sleepless nights, or probably at some point you were in debt you needed to clear, or maybe something went on at home and all these things impacted you. But somehow you managed to, walk through these things and you came out unscattered, you came out fine, you came out happy. Now, our brain somehow forgets that processes, those things. I only remember the happy memories. So sometimes when you're feeling that nostalgia, remind yourself that that past you're feeling, your current present will soon become that past. In fact, when it comes to timing, your present become a past in the next second. So if probably the time is 10:26:15 in the next second that 10:26 becomes a past. So would not it will not hurt you to make your present a memorable past when it becomes a past, right? So we can't really control everything in life. We can't really control changes. We can't really control growth. But there are certain things we can control. We can control how we navigate this growth. We can control the choices we make while we experience this growth. We can control. Okay, now that we are in this vast sea and the wind is going and we don't even know where we are going to, and you look around, maybe on this side there's a green pasture, on this side there's a green pasture, you can decide to just sail across the sea, check what you have, what's on this side, what's on that side, fish, and a lot of other fun things to do. I'm just saying, in general, see, take life as an adventure, right? So, back to talking about the emotional impact, let us not digress. So now sometimes, right, when you reminisce about this past that makes you happy, this your past self that you love, you tend to feel like you are losing the core of your being, the main thing that defines you, you're losing it. So take again the extroverted and introverted nature example we talked about. Before now, probably used to be an introverted person and you love your quiet. And before now, it's like when you go out there say introduce yourself and you're like, I'm a very introverted person. I like my space. I like this. But currently, you find yourself loving outside. You want to be around people, doing things around people. When you come to a room, you find out you can't even help it. You just want to make everybody smile and hello, hello, right? So and for you now, you might feel like you're losing that your person. It's normal. These feelings are normal. And sometimes there is this part of, dealing with the discomfort that come with this change or this growth, Probably you're moving from one level to another. Sometimes the process is not easy. You go through pain. Sometimes you might even lose a job. Sometimes it might even be losing a loved one. Sometimes it can just be different things that might not really be pleasant, but it's still part of the growth process, right? So it can be very overwhelming. It can be very unsettling. But then again, all these feelings are normal and they are very, very well valid. However, you have to let go. So now let's talk about letting go of this your old self you once loved. It's not easy. Yeah, it's not easy, but then you have to stop. You have to stop romanticizing this your past self. Stop making it look like the past version of you never experienced any pain, never experienced any downside, right? Don't have selective amnesia when it comes to reminiscing about your past self. When you're thinking about the good times, try to think about how you got there, what process led to that point in time, right? So don't always paint the old version of yourself as a perfect version of yourself. At that moment, I'm very sure you didn't even know, you felt like you didn't know what you were doing, right? In fact, before you even realize that, oh, this has become a version of yourself, it was when you lost that part, or not still lost. Yes, it was when you let go of that part and you're entering a new part. That's when you figure that, oh, that was actually a phase of my life, or that was a version of myself, right? So before you recognize that the past, how do I want to put this? So let me word it. So before you recognize your past, somehow it was once a present, and so you can't recognize the past until it is past. So before a past become a past, it is always a present. Hope that makes sense. So don't paint a perfect picture of what your life used to be or who you used to be. Recognize your flaws, point out your weaknesses, because you are human. That past self was not perfect, and so is your current self. You are not perfect. So whenever you see yourself clinging to that your old self you once loved, tell yourself, I would soon let go of this version I am currently in, will soon pass. How memorable will it be? My previous self, this is my fault, this is my flaw, this is my weakness. I also have a flaw, I also have a weakness. However, my previous weakness, most of the times now in your growth journey, your previous flaws and weakness becomes your current strength. So now when you see yourself clinging to that your old self, remind yourself that your flaws, that your those weaknesses are now your current strength, and it should be a motivation for you to focus on what you are doing now. Focus on the current version of yourself, build it and grow. Also, avoid comparing who you used to be to who you are now. See, it's very detrimental because it put pressure on you, unnecessary pressure, unhealthy pressure that can lead you to confusion, depression, psychological issues, health issues. Because if you're not healthy here, health wise, you would not be strong. Physically, you would lose strength. So, you have to ensure that you're not comparing your past self to who you are now. So, Now that we know about how to let go, what to do, let's talk about, embracing your current self. Who are you now? Remember, you identified the changes, right? You also figured out that your previous weakness is your current strength, or probably you're still a work in progress. Which we all are, right? So, what you get to do, how you get to embrace who you are now, is first to focus on your growth, objectify it. Okay, when you've identified who you used to be and that you've identified the change, it will help you to understand what area of your life is growing, is changing. Is it your mental health? Is it your career? Is it your mindset? Is it your interest? Is it your hobby? Right? Whatever it is, once you've identified it, focus on it. And once you focus on it, define what you want it to be. Define, like, how will I put it? Set goals. This is what I want to do. This is how I want it to be. Once you set goals, you pursue your goals, channel all your energy and all your strength into whatever it is, or yes, whatever it is that area of growth is. I hope I'm making sense. All right, then redefine your definition of change or of growth. Don't always see growth as a negative thing or change as a negative thing. Rather, see it as a process. Don't see it as you losing who you used to be. Rather, see it as you being on a journey to become better or to become a better version of yourself. Now, once you have this change in mindset, it will help you see things in a more positive light. I hope that makes sense also. Alright, then you trust yourself and trust your journey, guys. Now, not me being a motivational speaker, but you are more than who you think you are. You can do more than what you think you can. You can do. You can achieve more than what you think. You just need to put in the work. Don't compare yourself to others. Your journey is different, so be intentional about your journey. Trust yourself, and keep motivating yourself. So now that you figured out how to embrace yourself, let's be practical, let's be real. So to be real about it, like I said, first of all, objectify it, set new goals. Once you've identified your area of growth, set goals. What do you want to do? Take life as an adventure. What do you want to do, right? Which new habits do you want to learn? Which habit do you want to drop? What skill do you want to learn? How do you want to start to see things? All these things, just set them as goals and work towards them. Also reflect, self-reflection. Guys, always, maybe if it's in writing it down or whatever, not like a comparison, but okay, what is it that I've been doing before that I'm not doing now? What am I doing now that I don't do before? Right? How has it bettered my life? Am I a better person? Ask those questions. Where am I currently? What am I doing? How am I going? What has my journey been like? Am I enjoying what I am now? Am I enjoying who I am now, regardless of what I used to be? Do I want to be better? What are my strengths? What are my current strengths? How can I improve on them? What are my current weaknesses or flaws? How can I be better? Reflect on yourself. Then also create, how will I put it? Create a story, right? More like, or rather than a story, instead of using a story, let's say create a closure. So something happened to me some months back, right? I opened my phone, I went to my journal, my notes, and there's this, I love to write sometimes when my head is so full. I like to write. And so I went back and I saw something I wrote in 2023, and I went to read through and I'm like, whoa, did I write this? Right? And looking back at what I wrote and where I am currently in life, I've gotten to appreciate where I am in life. And looking back, I see that I'm in a better place, right? Whatever it was that made me to write that, I've passed, I've outgrown it, and I'm happy. So I think sometimes we have to create those closure. Right, you can write a letter to yourself, right? Or probably make a video for those that like to video. Do a video talking to yourself. Make a video, document it. Right? I think that will help you get closure. Because over time, when you now go back to visit, you'll see that indeed you've made progress. Also, this next point I'm about to make is also very important. Forgive yourself of every past mistake. Guys, this is very important. Forgive yourself, right? You did not make a mistake. A mistake is a mistake because it was not intentional, right? So learn to heal from your past mistakes. Whenever you're seeing yourself guilt trapping yourself because of a mistake you made, thinking that that was probably a childish move, or that was because you did not know better and now you know better and you'll be conscious to make better decisions. Okay, if you keep insisting and dwelling on it, does it change anything? No, it only keeps making you anxious, keep putting pressure, keep destabilizing your life. So why hold on to it? Let it go, right? It's not something, it's easier said than done, I know. But when you're intentional, you're consistent, you put in the work, it's something you can do. Distract yourself if you need to, right? Then also have compassion on yourself, guys. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't I'm not saying you should be lazy, I'm not saying you should not work on yourself, but don't beat yourself up when things don't work out. Don't beat yourself up. See, guys, I'm still a work in progress in this aspect. I'm still learning it, but so far so good. I've put this into practice and it has helped me. When things don't work out for me, I don't beat myself up. Sometimes maybe for the first few hours I'm beating, the next moment I ask myself, okay, what has this changed? Nothing. Has anything gotten better? No. So what's the main thing? I clear my eye, I become more objective about how I handle things, and I think that is what we should all do, right? So that's it. Then the next thing, create your own story. In fact, this is my last point. Create your own story. This, like I said, your present will soon become a past. So write the story, whatever memorable, whatever you want to look back and say, this is what my life was. Write it, create it, see life as an adventure. Rewrite your story. As you're setting those new goals, know they make up your story. Whatever it is you plan to learn, know it makes up a story. If you plan to travel as part of, the new goals you are setting, when you be telling the story of who you used to be, it's going to be part of it. And I also believe in something. Whatever we are doing kind of aligns with what the universe wants for us, align with God's purpose for our life. And so, if you take charge, remember you're not in control of everything, but there are certain things you are in control. You're not in control of life, but you're in control of how you react to life, right? So, when life throws pebbles at you, pick them up, see how you can sharpen them to make them decos, right? I hope that makes sense. And hopefully I did not want this video to be so long, and hope I've not been blabbing. I just hope this makes sense. Okay, so I would like to add to it, define success differently. Now let success not only be when you make wins at the end, when the outcomes or the results are like wins for you, right? Now rather see success as you making impact. Whenever you make an impact, see it as success. Every small win you make, see that success. When you going through your process before you get that end result you're looking for, right? Whatever it is you picked up through the process should be success for you. Making change, making impact. So for example, probably you were writing an exam, and you can write an exam and you never pass. So what if you fail? Does that make you a failure? No. Rather, if you look back, or if you look at who you've become after that exam, you find out that, oh, you've probably become a more resilient person, you've become more proactive, you've done a lot of other things that made you a better version of who you used to be. So while who you used to be is nice, it is not the best version of who you are supposed to be. It is not the perfect version of you. Neither is now going to be the perfect version of you. Neither is tomorrow, who you're going to be tomorrow, going to be the perfect version of you. We can never be perfect, because in as much as there is life, we keep living, we keep becoming better. We keep changing, irrespective of age, right? So some people are really so noisy when growing up, and when they're aging, they become more calm and reserved. While some people are very calm and reserved when coming up, and when they are aging, they want to live the life, they want to flex, they want to enjoy. So define success differently. I hope this makes sense. I hope this has helped you, figure out how to let go, right? All right, so all these blessings to your life. If you love this video, give it a thumbs up right now. Like the video, subscribe to the channel so you get more of this kind of videos, and also share it to people who might like it, and let's keep the community going. All right, so see you next time. Bye.